Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for a quite remarkable car. This is a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel. This particular car, 11 plate, has covered just 34,000 miles. And if you know from the advert, you'll know the ownership and history of the vehicle is quite extraordinary as well. It's in absolutely beautiful condition throughout. Front of the car, you can see the lights and lenses completely clear, intact, no cracks or condensation there at all. Bonnet very, very clean indeed. Near side of the vehicle, it's just wonderfully smooth in the panel work. Can't see any obvious indentations there at all. Near side front wheel, really good. Just the odd tiny little mark right on the outside, but I'm talking minuscule, and I'm being very critical. Paintwork's got a lovely sort of natural luster to it. Near side rear alloy, again, can't see any marks in there at all. Fitted with the high-level rear spoiler on the car, which, although subtle, just completely changes the stance of the car. Looks absolutely fantastic. Coming in the back again, all very, very clean and tidy. Offside, driver's side, again, just absolutely beautiful in the panels there. Offside rear alloy looks really, really good. Can't see any marks, they're obvious again. And the remaining panel work is just wonderfully clean. And final alloy, again, in very, very nice condition. I mean, externally, for a car, a 10-year-old car, regardless of the mileage, is in just gorgeous condition. Coming to the back of the car, I mean, it almost looks as new. Full complement of shelves. Pop that back. Middle shelf there looks factory fresh. And carpeted areas and plastics are just all in wonderful, wonderful condition. It's coming to the back of the car, masses of room in the back of the CR-Vs, and most CR-Vs, even low mileage ones, are pretty heavily used. This looks as though it's hardly ever had a backside sat on those seats. It is in extraordinary condition. Coming to the front now, again, as with the back, it's amazing, really is. Passenger seat there again. Maybe just the one person's been driving the car, because in all honesty, I mean, that is the best I think I've ever seen. Finally, come to the driver's door card. Again, exhibits absolutely no wear at all. Footwell area is lovely and clean. Driver's seat, the only one that's going to have any wear. So backside's been sliding in and out. It compresses. That's exactly how it's meant to be. They do compress down, but otherwise, again, quite extraordinary. So inside the car now, engine's running this section as always, so the dash can be seen illuminated, which looks absolutely as new. It's in just wonderful condition. On these later models, get this little USB lead in there. Sat nav, as you can see, working absolutely perfectly. Pop the car into reverse. Get that lovely clear gridded parking camera, all working exactly as it should. To come up to the dash binnacle, 34,799 miles and no warning lights on the vehicle at all. The video simply doesn't do justice to the car, in all honesty. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and one I've been looking forward to doing actually. This is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel. Car is registered HD11DBU, and the mileage is an unbelievable 34,793 miles. This car has had, as it says in the advert, and I may be repeating myself, just the one private owner from new who's serviced the car impeccably. Every service, I think there's 9 of them, were done by the Honda dealers. We've just done one, you know, on age, not miles. It was only done a couple of thousand miles ago by Honda. Just an incredibly rare vehicle. The reason we do all of our videos, by the way, is very simple indeed. It's just to show the cars in operation, any of the cars we sell. The reason we feel it's important is because we have been to see lots of cars which have looked perfectly good in photographs and in the description, only to get there and find out when we've driven it, it's got a fundamental issue which we'd much rather known about before setting off. So hence that's why we do it. It's also done these lovely quiet country roads very close to our premises. This actually forms part of the road test route we take customers on, so hopefully then it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, it comes as no surprise to know that the engine starts absolutely instantly and settles to a completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Temperature gauge running at about a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle, and it's been running for quite some time now. The engines are brilliant diesel engines. It's so smooth revving, quiet in operation, pulls with real guts and vigour from even the lowest revs. Got a reputation for reliability and longevity that's absolutely unmatched in its class. It's just a wonderful diesel engine, but one, as I said, you'll enjoy using day in, day out because it's so undiesel-like. Fantastic units. Engine feeds into clutch and gearbox. Obviously the clutch, as you'd expect, such low mileage is perfect. Bite point's exactly where it's meant to be, and it's lovely and smooth in actuation. The gearboxes are simply brilliant on these CR-Vs. It's a real lesson to other manufacturers in how to do it, because it feels like it should be something much more sporty. It's short and throw. It's got a lovely actuation, a kind of a meatiness, a weightiness to it, which those that like engineering will just immediately recognise as a lot of effort has been put in by Honda to make it feel like that, and they've done a wonderful job. The gear change, by the way, as you'd expect, again, just feels absolutely as new. It's as tight as a drum in the actuation of it. Steering of the car, this is a generation of car I love because you've got this lovely weighty power steering. It just feels really lovely on the road. It's fluid in feel, very accurate and precise, I have to say. And I haven't driven one of these generation for a little while now, and it's just a reminder of how nice they always felt to drive. Also, there's no vibrations. The speed, or any speed up to legal limit, in all honesty, and it tracks absolutely straight as well. The chassis of the car, Honda have been selling CR-Vs for donkey's years now, and they know this market very well, so they know what the majority of their customers want. So they give you a very compliant and very comfortable ride. But also going through the corners, and like so many where you can get lots of pitching and wallowing. These hold their line really nicely. You turn in, it just stays nice and steady, so not a huge amount of motion. You get some, of course you do, but it's by comparison to others, taller vehicles, notably, where they can feel particularly unpleasant. But this is just a wonderfully set up car, and there's absolutely no noises coming from underneath the vehicle. There shouldn't be. There's no sort of rattles or clonks. Not that you'd expect any. Again, as I said, this kind of mileage. I'm going to give the brakes a bit of a shove, make sure no one's directly behind me. Bear with me 1 second. Really good, powerful brake pedal on the car. Good initial bite. No kind of pulsing or vibrations going back through the brake pedal at all. So all in fine order. So coming inside the car, I mean, this car hasn't even been cleaned yet. I mean, it literally could just sell it as it is. That's how clean it is in here. It's been kept absolutely beautifully, and this is an interior which I absolutely love. It's not for everybody. Completely understand that. The black leather interiors are really nice. Unfortunately, on really lovely days like today, where it's hot, steamy, a bit humid, you get inside one with the black leather, and firstly it's met by a swelteringly hot interior. Seats are red hot. These aren't. These are just just nice and cool to sit on. But what I particularly like is the fact that it adds a brightness to the interior of the car as well. So even on duller days, you don't get any feel like you're in a bit of a cave, which you can again with everything's black. And what a beautifully built machine. Absolutely no squeaks or rattles. I mean, it's just a stunningly well-made car, and joyful to sit in. It's just got a lovely dashboard that's laden with equipment, by the way, but you know, simple and easy to use. You've got the sat nav all working perfectly. Obviously it doubles up as a rear camera. Dual zone climate control, so you've got different temperatures side to side if you so wish, blowing out absolutely ice cold air, by the way. Heated seats again, all working exactly as they should, and you've got this wonderful dash binnacle in front, good old school Honda stuff, beautiful detailing and labelling, symmetrical. You just look at it, you take the information in. Too many modern dashboards, you have to look down and kind of sit and stare at it for half an hour before you actually realise what you're trying to get back from it. That's just superbly done. And a nice leather bound steering wheel which still feels absolutely as new to hold. I mean, it really is a complete time warp car, this one. It's, you know, as we say in the advert, we're not even going to hide from the fact we're trying to be cheap with it, but the reality is, you know, average prices are based on average cars. You know, but there's nothing average about a car that's done this kind of mileage, has that kind of ownership and history attached to it, so it reflects that. And so again, for those looking for the cheapest CR-V out there, this isn't it, far from it. But what it is probably one of the best you'll see in terms of kind of ownership and the way the car drives. This is a generation, obviously it's four-wheel drive, no buttons to press, nothing to do. Honda again worked out really quickly that most of its customers buying them would be driving in conditions as I am today, where you just don't need it on. Because the problem with permanent four-wheel drive, of course, is that you know, because it's running permanently, you're going to use more fuel, get through your tyres more quickly, and suffer more mechanical stress to the car as well. What this does, it runs in front-wheel drive pretty much the whole time, which is the most efficient way to pull a car along. Only if the front wheels start to lose grip, sort of mud, snow, ice, that kind of thing, will it instantly engage the rear wheels to give you four-wheel drive, and it's seamless and brilliant in operation because I've used them countless times needing it. Its simplicity also helps with its reliability, because, you know, 3 decades now of selling Hondas using this system, and we've never so much as put a spanner on any of them, so it is particularly tough indeed. As I said at the start of the video, it's a little bit unique, this one. It's not your average car. It drives absolutely beautifully. I just can't fault it, but also the fact that it just drives so well. It's a very, very high quality item. If you've got any questions about the car, don't hesitate, do give us a call.